Welcome to the poster session of Universal Dependencies for Old Turkish. I am Oğuz, and in this session we will first briefly introduce our paper and then we will walk through some examples which highlight the main features of our approach. The existing Turkic language tree banks in the Universal Dependencies project take a traditional approach to word definition. In other terms, the word units in these corpora use space delimitation as the basis. Old Turkish language corpus, Old Turkic script corpus, does not include any consistent word delimiter such as space. The column punctuation that should always be splitting into words is inconsistent with the existing tokenization approach. Furthermore, existing tokenization or word definition is not robust in the face of categories. If we take the latest research or just a recent standard reference on the Old Turkish subject, being consistent with the current word notion would mean our annotations to be inconsistent with the studies of the language, even for the simplest ones like adpositions. One way to relate is to think about English A or an determiners. The existing approach will take these and treat them as part of the following word due to their dialectical sounding being unitary and spelling dependent on the head. Since we could neither generalize for Old Turkic script corpus nor be consistent with the studies, we decided to use a framework similar to the short-unit word perspective developed for the Japanese language and the others. But first and foremost, a significant challenge with starting an Old Turkic script, Old Turkish language treebank, is the state of digitalization with the script itself. Despite the script being one of the very first attestations of the Turkic languages and being very reflective of the phonetic subtleties of the Turkic languages, the amount of care it gets for standardized modules is relatively low and almost non-existent. And this lack of oversight is visible in the existing standardizations, where there are many unfortunate missing characters in most categories. Therefore, we devised a trivial normalization that reduces the alphabet to mitigate this and ensure eventual recoverability as found in the original text themselves. This normalization also provides a case-insensitive ASCII letter-only transliteration scheme. One important caveat with the Old Turkic script is that it does neither represent vowel length nor the closeness of round vowels consistently. Therefore, any efforts to characterize these phonetics which distinguish between word roots in a non-dispensable way should reside in the extensional and non-intrinsic territory. Therefore, these should not be reflected in the state of final corpus, dropping experimental status with some sketches living in the not-released directory. In this instance of an adverbial clause with a conditional, given that the script runs from right to left, you can observe how our annotation scheme surfaces the typological similarities of Turkic languages and others better, while producing a richer syntax with word classes more represented. In this example, you can observe how we annotate the fully conjugated copula of the Old Turkish language. At the same time, you can see how we annotate the possessive markers and the person markers, which derive from these possessive markers at the end of the sentence. We are gradually contributing the components we developed for our research to make them more reusable and visible. Thank you very much for listening, and we are looking forward to your questions.